Hi guys, welcome to episode 9 of We Built a Gym. Obviously, last time we talked about the coronavirus and there's been a significant amount of progression since then. So we're basically just going to be covering the ins and outs of that, how it's affected us, how it's affected the gym, the next steps, the future, and all the uncertainties surrounding it. So the main thing is that the gym has closed, which is a sad time. But before we get into it fully, just make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the video, and comment below. Just give us your thoughts, your feelings, how you're dealing with all this stuff that's going on, and the uncertainties around it, and we'll go from there.
I would like you to like the video whether you like it or not. It's been a rough few days and that would just really boost me.
Please
like the video. So yeah, gym's closed. So Friday night, Boris Johnson's speech. I can admit I didn't see it coming. Me and you were having a conversation an hour beforehand, and I was like, nah, he's not closing gyms.
He was so nonchalant. Is that the word? Nonchalant.
Nonchalant.
He's just like, yeah, no, be fine. And then even I didn't know.
Well, because I thought that he might close gyms in London.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. I heard
all the way
stuff
out
about
here,
London, and then I got a message through it. It was like, turn on the speech now, and I was like, oh god, it's going down, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, that sucked. We kind of raced down, put a little action plan together. Got a bit sad. And yeah, the gym is closed until further notice. That doesn't mean that athlete movement doesn't exist anymore. It just means that we kind of sit here in a holding pattern and wait for the government to allow us to open again, which is weird. And for some reason I feel the need to say sorry, even though I didn't create the coronavirus.
There is that, there's that guilt around, isn't it? It's horrible. Like, it felt so out of place the other day. To be forced to close essentially is just not a nice feeling. Like, obviously I've got the strength movement online coaching, which is still active because that's online, which is cool. But without athlete movement sort of alongside it, and the base of like a lot of my clients and a lot of the members and like me and stuff, it's just horrible. It's sad, Yeah.
That's the thing. TSM can remain active because people can work out at home. People have got kind of different setups.
Yeah.
It's been cool that some members of the gym have like got together, like Troy and Matt, people like that, like Candy, Red Tweak, Shoebun, like getting together and
sort of
training together,
joining forces. Yeah,
which is really sweet.
Shows how people come together in sort of a time like this. It sounds really cliche, but they have done, and the support we've seen for the gym and from the members and stuff has been unreal. Hasn't it?
That is worth saying thank you for. We have been inundated with messages of support, thanks, reassurance, the odd cancellation, but mainly people being just super supportive, and actually that's really welcome because everyone's going through a bit of a crap time.
Yeah.
Like lots of people are self-employed and losing work. Lots of people are having to change their entire lives, so that hopefully, obviously, we beat coronavirus, and less people die.
I know people have lost multiple jobs, and it's like every industry, some more than others. The hospitality industry has been pretty much wiped out temporarily.
I thought you were going to say, people that have lost multiple lives.
Multiple lives.
Not again.
Like cats.
Not again.
Yeah. But it's not good, but we can sort of be appreciative of like the team, the support we have around us, and what we've built and created in terms of community has sort of shining through at times like this, which is absolutely fantastic. But obviously with that comes quite a few worries and concerns, and I think that's for everyone, like in this same boat, whether that's financial worries and stuff like that, and also sort of mental and physical as well, like mental and physical health and how it might cause a decline for those things.
I think that's scary is the amount of people that are willing to share that exercise is how they manage their mental health almost. It's that thing that helps them kind of put the troubles of the world away, and that they kind of lose access to that. So then they start going for walks and runs, and then rightly so, they're told don't go to the parks anymore, don't go to the outdoor spaces, and you worry for how are people going to cope. How are they going to...
Yeah, almost basically like kind of being told to just stay inside and isolate. it's all a bit doom and gloom, but you know, hopefully listening to sort of how we're dealing with it and stuff like that is gonna sort of help. Yeah, badly, many beers is gonna, and lots of food is gonna help you guys out, you know. But that's sort of what I've been reassuring my clients who and the members who are sort of have concerns about it, is that we're trying to stick together as a community to sort of work through it together, and to be, you know, as positive as possible, because there's been a lot of good things that people have done, like you said, sort of join forces and sort of friendships and other positive stuff going on, which is great.
For me, I'm just trying to think about what's next, you know, like instead of being here in this sad moment, what's next? What can we do? What can we use the time for? What can we use the space for? Because we still have access to the gym.
We've already discussed some bits as well, haven't we? Like things we can do to be sort of proactive and reactive to the situation.
Let's get more content out. Let's get more funny videos out. Let's, you know, remind people of the fun times, the good times, the stuff that will come again.
Absolutely. Got some plans for like when we are allowed to reopen, isn't it? In terms of like getting the gym, give it a lick of paint, keeping it spotless.
Yeah. So we've got to, like, why not essentially use the time that we've got? Yeah. So let's paint the gym. You know, like, not that it's in bad nick. We paint it quite regularly, but let's paint it again. Let's clean everywhere, even though we clean regularly. You know, let's deep clean everything again. Just make the place,
stay on top of it, and sort of, you know, not just new. like we don't want that attitude of like, oh, I'll leave it in the dust and just open it back up, the doors, you know, and it's all horrible in there.
It's been 84 years.
One eternity later.
That's our plan, is to use the time productively to, first of all, get massive. So
just get so jacked, so tanned.
In kind of 4 weeks, 8 weeks, however long, we're going to be massive monsters, and everyone else will be returning tiny.
Don't fret though, like Weighty Wednesday is still going ahead. You know, you can't just let a deadly virus rule that out.
No, when you make a commitment,
you got to see it through.
You got to see it through,
tough times or not. So
yeah, remember that with your memberships. So that's next steps, I think, for us. I guess for TSM, like, you just keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going as much as possible. Like, you know, the team has been absolutely fantastic, and a lot of people have sort of equipped themselves with some stuff so they can at least stay active and do some stuff, and they're, you know, allowing me to have a part in that and sort of help them out, put some stuff together. So that's great, and that's as positive as a situation as I can get myself in as a coach. You know, I do have sort of like same feelings as you, that feeling of like sympathy, and I have a lot of empathy for my team, you know, the ones that are in slightly less fortunate situations.
You've got students,
if they've
PTs.
lost their job, you know, I have a couple of people who do work for the NHS, so they're on the front line of it, you know, so they're in a much scarier position than me, so I do consider myself, you know, grateful and lucky to be in the position I am. So, you know, we'll make it as positive as possible. And, you know, when everything's back on track, the meetups, we'll have like a really good big one. I'm sure we'll have like a gym sort of almost relaunch and just make it really good. And instead of, like you said, instead of focusing on the negatives and how bad this situation is, try and make it just, you know, as
that is hard
good as
though,
possible.
because what you do becomes who you are, right?
Yeah.
You know, like when people say like, oh, you know, they're like, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so and I am this. I am a gym owner. You are a coach. You are a business owner. You know,
you almost feel like that's stripped away from you.
Just in that moment, just taken away.
Literally. And we've never seen anything like that as well. I've never seen it in my lifetime where something's been forced to close unless, you know, they've broken the law, and even then, like, things don't close down. Like, it's normally individuals. So I think it's the reason it's hit everyone so hard and it's so shocking and surprising is that it's so like unprecedented. Like, it's just it's never been recorded before. Like, this has never happened to the world, to the UK especially. So it's just strange to see.
Well, it was just a week ago that we were talking about, almost flippantly, you know, about like, oh, is it serious? Is it not serious? And here we are now.
Cut back to that video, and what's happened literally like 7 days later is monumental for a lot of people's livelihood and businesses. But
I found that night hard, you know, and the next day actually, and today, I just think I'm a bit at sea with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do I do with my time? I have I'm very honest about it. I've made my business my life. I've, like put everything I have into it, and it's where I get a lot of my identity and a lot of my focus and
Absolutely.
my drive. And you think, well, what do I do now?
That's gone, yeah, I guess it's that you don't want that sort of trying to escape that fleeting feeling of like, oh, it's gone, but like we said, we've got some plans in place, haven't we?
Yeah.
Going to do some cool things, film some good content, film some funny content, make the best out of it, keep the gym, what the gym is, which is a community, and just the best place we can make it. So that's what we're doing about the corona,
And our members' reaction has been amazing, like I said, but also since that time, we're still seeing videos of members kind of training in their gardens, members training in their conservatories, all that stuff. That's really kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
And really pleasing to see.
Heartwarming, I'd say. Like,
so
people
doing
stuff doing walking lunges with their dog and, involving their children or something. It's just, that's quite like a heartwarming sort of nice thing to see in a time of uncertainty and like sort of panic buying toilet rolls, which is still going on, by the way. In fact, it's even worse. Go to a supermarket, there's literally nothing on the shelves. People need to calm that down, that's for sure. I
think, like, I was thinking about it earlier, and could we have done more kind of thing, but obviously no, because the government made the decision. But I think back and like, we've had no cases of the virus in the gym. We've had barely anyone having to self-isolate, like Yoga Leah, put herself in self-isolation because her flatmate had to do it. And you think, well, okay, like that's a little bit like Coach Seb, he was worried about his partner, his wife, and rightly so, because she is at risk. So he took himself out, but he didn't have it and she didn't have it. It was just a precaution. So it felt like we went from nothing to everything, or actually it felt like we went from everything to nothing.
To nothing, yeah. It's like the other way around.
And it sounds bitter and it sounds immature of me to focus on that rather than the greater good. And maybe that is immature of me. And
well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like we said last week,
idea.
like sort of like, oh, it's not affecting me, so whatever.
And now it is affecting me.
It's not affecting it. It doesn't affect you until it does, and that's what everyone's sort of going on about with being socially responsible and all that. And that's essentially why the gyms have been enforced to close, because they're a close contact place. So
particularly with us around, actually.
Yeah, that's it.
We're very handsy.
Handsy.
So actually, your nickname for a while was Handsy Ben.
Handsy Ben. I don't know.
That was a long time ago.
It's just coaching corrections, to learn to step back.
She left the gym without making an official complaint. It's fine.
Oh no,
it's fine. Yeah.
Didn't want to get
She
the
didn't want
abuse
to
anymore.
cause a scene,
Yeah. It's fair play.
Yeah, her loss. I think I was just like processing my feelings on it and stuff, and like, obviously, at the beginning, as a business owner, you start thinking like, are we going to be okay? You start looking at our accounts. Luckily, we're quite financially prudent, might be the right word, and we were ready for an emergency situation.
Yeah.
So we kind of had everything covered and have it covered moving forward. We have a really understanding landlord who we could just really quickly come to an agreement on how because obviously the rent on this place is his income, but well, if we keep paying that rent without taking any money, we'll go into bankruptcy.
That's what I mean. Then he won't have any income. Yeah, it sort of had to work as a team, don't you?
Yeah, so that was really good, and we really appreciate him and how quick and easy that was.
But a lot of businesses won't have that, will they? Again, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it's going to see like we said last week, a big hit on the economy, big hit on smaller businesses, and that's where we've seen that sort of benefit of people like coming together and working sort of as one to keep things afloat.
Well, actually, and we've had members. I can think of like one in my head right now who, she was saying, I'm not going to have a job, and I'm not going to have money, and I'm worried.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people in that position.
100%.
Which is distressing. And
it's sad. It's like, just like that as well. Literally the click of the finger.
And my biggest kind of bugbear is that the government have put out all these fantastic announcements for how they're going to support people and all that, but you can't actually apply for any of it yet. And I know that it's, you know, they're acting in the moment and they're trying to react because obviously who could have planned this out?
Exactly, yeah.
But I think we're going to be in a lot better position when we actually know how self-employed people are going to claim for earnings, or we know how people can actually get access to the support.
Those benefits for smaller businesses,
Yeah, now we're all
I think
we're looking
that
at it.
uncertainty, that sort of not knowing, just drives fear and panic.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I saw a post earlier, it was like, whatever you're feeling right now is absolutely fine. You know what I mean? Some people are like sort of seizing the moment and are like, whoa, this is my time to whatever. And some people are pretty crippled by, you know, the anxiety and fear of the whole situation. And I think either way, that's fine. You're allowed to, you know, be feeling different things. But the trick is to be proactive on it, you know, take some positive steps forward and keep moving forward. Don't just sort of sit there in the
wallow
in the you know, without being trying to be ironic in the isolation bubble. You know what I mean? Get in contact with people. Even you don't have to go face-to-face contact, but get in contact with people and you can do some positive things. Take some positive steps.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I agree. But positivity already, thinking about it, you know, like we know that like before lockdown and all of that happens, if it happens, probably will. You know, we know that like our members are kind of getting together and nurturing the community and obviously in socially, what's it called? Social distancing.
Following the guidelines.
But they're getting together and kind of having a few beers or whatever and just talking. And I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing that people are making their friendships last outside the gym.
Efforts like that go a long way, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Go a long old way.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing, because ultimately there is a future.
Yeah.
Like I will categorically say this now and look at the camera. Athlete movement reopens soon. We're not going anywhere. We are so grateful for all of the members who are sticking with us and continuing to support us both financially and kind of moral support. And we're going to reward you in a massive way. So I've already announced in a different video how we're kind of reimbursing any money that you spend on membership that you don't get to use. But we've got huge plans for what we're going to do with the gym. We're going to be kind of making a few radical changes. Like some slightly big
really
ones.
decent stuff.
Some new equipment to be added, a couple of big pieces, a couple of small pieces, and just kind of tweak what we're doing. There's a few new kind of signs and bits of artwork I want to put up. And the idea is to open with a bang. So I'm not saying all that new equipment will be here when we open, because I imagine we won't get much notice on reopening.
Yeah, I think it will be like they said they'd do some sort of review, so I don't think it will be a case of a set date. It'll be like, right, from Monday you can reopen if you want to.
And that's so like we can't negotiate that new equipment to be here for then, but what we can do is plan one hell of an opening day. You know, like I'm talking, let's get the barbecue out. Let's get the beers out.
Yeah.
Let's
have a good time.
Let's have a good time. Let's get a bit rowdy, because when we open, it's going to be insane. And for us, it's that thing we keep saying, that if you're with us, we're with you.
Yeah.
We've just got to sit on our hands and wait for the time, and then we go again. So the future is bright, I think.
100%.
There's no denying that every gym will have been pushed back by this.
Yeah. Lots of businesses,
and other businesses, and lots of coaching companies will have been pushed back, but the future is there, and if we plan for it and we work for it, as soon as it's safe to, we go again.
Yeah, and it's gonna be good.
No, bloody hope so.
We have a Q&A to do. We got some questions answered. We put some more stuff out just to see what everyone else is saying in this time of uncertainty. The first question we had was, will athlete movement and the strength movement be all right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we will be. Obviously I'm still open and trying to help the team out. The gym we're trying to be proactive with and do some cool stuff there. We'll be all right.
Yeah, the
like
gym,
we said in the video.
We've got things in place. We've got plans going already, both on the business side of things, in terms of, behind the scenes, paperwork, all of that, financing.
Fun stuff.
The fun stuff. And then on the flip side of that, we're going to use the time proactively. So we're going to be all right.
We'll
yeah.
be all right.
We're going to be better
We'll
than
be
all
all
right. Next question. Has anything nice actually happened? I'll answer this. So, yes. Yesterday, the day when we were closed for the first day, on Saturday, a member of TSM, a client of TSM, it's called Will West, really nice guy, comes down to the gym every now and then because is he in Reading?
In Reading area.
Reading
yeah.
Way, so kind of a bit too far to come regularly. Really nice guy, just really positive, nice guy. He got in touch yesterday just to tell us that he went onto the website and joined the gym. So even though he knew that the gym was closed, he went online and signed up for a membership just to offer his support. And I was astounded by it. And we're so grateful, Will. You know, like, not for the money per se, but for the gesture and for that kind of, it's just really...
Just that massive show of, like, support.
It's like altruistic.
It is, yeah. It's just fantastic. And it means so much, especially in times like that, you know, where there's a lot of uncertainty, where we're feeling pretty negative initially. And a gesture like that just flipped our mood around massively.
Anything nice happened to you?
The response from my team has been absolutely unreal. People like wanting to stay on and, you know, continuing to support me as much as possible, as much as they financially can, if they're keeping their jobs and stuff. That response has been quite overwhelming.
Nice.
You know, I know the team are awesome through and through, but just to see it in action, it never fails to leave me shocked and astounded, similar to Will's gesture there. So just so thankful and grateful to be in the position I am, really.
Another nice thing that happened to me, I found a new vein on my bicep.
Well, there you go. That's when you know things are getting serious.
It's time to get jacked.
It's time to get big.
Next question.
Best home DIY gym setup. Is that asking, like, what do you need for the best setup, or like, what's the one we've seen?
Because it's a scene at the end, I think it's like, what's the best one we've seen? And
Okay.
the DIY bit, I'm guessing, does that mean like funny?
Like sort of something bodged together to like create a...
Because if that, Johnny Pryor.
Definitely Johnny, yeah.
Johnny built like this kind of ramshackle squat rack out of like bricks and wood.
Just stacked up some bricks and some 4x4.
And he
I
like
think,
starts with the bar really low, so just to like squat underneath it and stand it up. Jamie Hadge was another great one.
Yeah.
James Hadjigeorgio. I think, what did he have like?
Like buckets with gravel in it or something and doing curls, yeah.
Filth.
Just, seen it. It's been like literally, a day, 2 days, and it's just been some super creative ideas, which has been really, really good to see. In terms of if you are thinking, obviously, like there's been panic buying of not just toilet rolls, not just anti-bac wipes, not just tin food, but also home gym equipment. Literally every supplier and big website I know that does home gym equipment is sold out of everything or had to like stop orders because of the volume. So, you know, if you're struggling to find stuff, if you can get your hands on a barbell, couple of plates, and maybe like a kettlebell or a dumbbell or a couple of dumbbells, you're good to go. You can do, and maybe some resistance bands or whatever if you already have them. You can do a serious workout with just that kit. So, you know, if you need some ideas, get in contact with me. I'll give you some ideas. But, I mean, everyone's posting about it anyway, so there you go.
For sure.
DIY home gym.
For sure.
And the last question we had was a really sweet one, just really nice, really supportive, and it was just, are you okay?
So that was from Helen Harvey.
Thank you.
And I assume, maybe I'm being egotistical, that it was aimed at me.
She don't care about me,
So-
because I don't wash my clothes. Sorry,
Thank you, Helen. It's been a rough time. Obviously, I'm not the biggest talker about my kind of personal stuff. It's not in my makeup really. But yeah, some rough stuff has happened lately. And then the gym closed, which sucked. That sucked balls.
That was bad, yeah.
And
Like
then
bam, bam, bam.
and on the same day, like just afterwards, I found out that my dad had died. And I've never been close to my dad. So when people are like, "How are you still functioning?" It's not what it might be for like you. Your dad is like a really positive role model in your life. Like I haven't seen my dad in kind of 15 years or so, or 13 maybe. And that was my choice. But obviously it's still a weird thing.
Yeah, it'd be a weird one to process, I can imagine.
To get your head around, yeah. Because it's still one of the two people that made you.
Well, of course, yeah, you can't get away from that.
And yeah, it's one of those situations where yeah, you just
Cheers,
think,
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Anything else? Anything more we want to do?
Yeah, may as well chuck another one in.
And yeah, like on top of the other stuff that I've got going on, it was just a bit like, oh, cool, let's go. And the funny thing is that I just keep harking back to this moment. I think it was like end of January, early February, and I was chatting to someone, and you know, just back and forth, and like, I was just being like all cocky and arrogant, and I said like I feel like everything I touch is turning to gold. I was like, you know, every idea I have is working. Every suggestion I come up with is welcomed and valued.
Well, when you're on one of those like really good streaks,
Yeah,
and like
and-
everything's just you're like unstoppable. And,
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I genuinely turned. I said to her, I feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
And you know, like, oh, ha, ha. And I was like, no, genuinely, I feel untouchable. I feel like I just can't be stopped. I'm untouchable.
And life's like, no.
And then and it came, and then yeah, things have gone downhill. So that's my own fault. I've done this to us all. Pride comes before a fall, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Helen. I will be. My favourite saying at the moment is, "This too shall pass."
This too shall pass.
So we move forward. And thank you, Helen. I appreciate it. But that will wrap us up for episode 9. Remember, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know how the coronavirus is going for you, and what your hopes and aspirations are for the future. Are you a college student that has no idea what you're going to do, like Jake Barr? Are you a gym owner who has no idea what he's going to do, like Luke? We've got a lot planned. I can't wait to show you it. A lot of ideas that we want to kind of put to work. A lot of weighty Wednesdays that we want to get going. Hopefully we'll see some of you for a beer soon. Hopefully we can get together and just make the most of the time that we've got before lockdown.
Stay positive.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon, guys. Bye.